Today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas, we're making some delicious Italian homemade sauce, so stay tuned. Hi friends, my name is Doug and welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Today we are going to make my homemade Italian sauce that you can use for so many different pasta dishes. You can use it for lasagna, you can even use it for pizza. So we're gonna make it today. I'm gonna share my recipe with you and stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So let's talk about all the ingredients we're gonna need to make my delicious Italian sauce. Now, this is a process. I'm gonna warn you guys, this is a process. It's gonna take a while. To cook the whole thing is like 4 to 5 hours. And you might say, what, that's too long. I'll just go out and buy ragu. Or I'll just go out and buy a Prego. I understand that. I totally get that. Everybody is working. It's, time is important. However, if you do have some time on a weekend, it just makes it so much, this sauce is just so much better than if you buy the store-bought Italian sauce. And this sauce I'm going to be using for a homemade pizza that I'm going to make tomorrow, and I'm also going to use this sauce for lasagna. So you can use this sauce. When you make this sauce, you can put in the refrigerator. You can keep it in there for a couple of days. It'll be fine to use for those some pasta dishes, So let me go through the ingredients, and I hope you try my recipe because it's really, really delicious. All right, first of all, you're going to need, we're using real tomatoes here, so we're not using any canned stuff. So I have these really beautiful, plump Roma tomatoes. I have 5 of those. And I also had 3 tomatoes from the vine that were in the refrigerator, so I'm going to be using those too. So we have here about 8 tomatoes. I'm also going to use half of a white onion, and I diced it up really small. I have some red and yellow sweet peppers that I also diced up really small. And that is approximately a cup. Let me tell you, it's about a cup of the diced onions and probably about half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of the diced sweet peppers. We're also going to use half a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and we're also going to use 1/4 of a cup of Pecorino Romano cheese. Now this cheese is so good. It's a little salty, but it just tastes so good. It really tastes great as a topping on a pasta dish, but I like to use it in my sauce. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of sugar, a little bit of tomato paste. We're also using 1/3 of a cup of Merlot wine. So I have some Merlot wine, Italian parsley, a little bit of that, oregano. We're going to use some Italian seasoning, thyme leaves, oregano, dried oregano leaves, basil, dried basil leaves. You could also use fresh basil, but I didn't have in the house, so I'm using the dried. And then salt and pepper, of course, a little bit of crushed red pepper, and onion powder and garlic powder, and about a cup of water we're also going to be using, and I believe that is it. So let's start cooking. Okay, so as you can see, I have my Dutch oven. I'm going to put this on a low to medium heat, and I'm using approximately 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We want to heat that up first, and then we're going to saute our onions and our sweet peppers. Okay, so I have my onions here. I'm going to first add my onions, and then I'm going to add my peppers, but I'm going to do my onions first. And I'm going to cook those up for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to add my peppers. Now we're going to cook our onions and our peppers until they're tender and translucent. Okay, now I'm going to add the peppers. Remember that was yellow and red. I just love how onions and peppers smell. So good. All right, so we're going to cook this probably for around 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so let's take a look at our onions. They're looking really good. And our peppers. Remember, your flame is on low to medium, but leaning more towards a low. You don't want to burn anything, so keep that in mind. I know some people want to cook on a high flame to get it done faster. It doesn't work that way, sorry. I had an aunt that used to do that, and my uncle used to get so upset with her. He goes, it cooks faster. He's like, no, you don't do it that way. Anyway, okay, so this is looking really good. We're going to get our tomatoes ready. Now, here are all our tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut these in fourths. I cut these in fourths like that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to add the rest of our cut tomatoes. Make sure that the flame is on a low flame. Give it a little stir. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this tool, an immersion blender, and we're going to crush our tomatoes. Okay, so that broke that down nicely. Now, if you still see a little chunks in there, it's okay because it's going to cook over time and it's going to reduce. So don't worry if you don't get all of it. You could also hand crush it if you wanted to. Yums. Smells so good already. We don't even have everything in it yet. All right. Okay, next we're going to add, these are 7 garlic toes that I just basically, I guess, minced very roughly though with my, cut it up with a knife. So 7 garlic toes. We are going to use approximately 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Give that a stir. Next I'm going to use my red wine. This is going to help with the color. I'm going to use my 1 cup of water. Use 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. That'll help thicken it some. We're going to add a little thyme leaves, probably like 1/4 of a teaspoon. We're going to use about 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano. And 1 teaspoon of basil. I'm going to use about 1/4 of a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Give it a little spice. Give it a stir. Mmm, looks good. A little salt and pepper. Probably about a teaspoon each. And don't forget, salt and pepper is really to taste, so if you want to add more salt and pepper to yours, that's fine. I am going to add just a little bit of garlic paste, probably like a teaspoon of that. Then we're adding some fresh oregano leaves. And don't forget, this is going to be cooking for around 4 to 5 hours, so all this is going to break down. We have our 1 tablespoon of sugar. Look at that, looks so yummy. And then we're going to add our cheeses. So this is our Parmigiano Reggiano cheese and our Pecorino Romano cheese. Just let that melt into the sauce. Yum. Add just a little bit more salt. A little bit more pepper. And now we're going to add approximately a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Yum, this is looking and smelling so good. We're going to put the lid on it on a very, very low flame. Let that cook for around 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so let's take a look at it, see how it's doing. Yum. Oh, it's nice and thick. Look at that sauce. All right, it has about another hour to go, and then we're going to give it a final taste test, so stay tuned. Okay, so our sauce should be done, our delicious Italian sauce, and I think I'm going to, like I said, use this to make pizza this week. I'm also going to use this probably to make lasagna. I might even make some spaghetti and meatballs. We'll see how much sauce we have. But that's what's so great about it, is that you make a sauce this size and then you let it cool, of course, and then you put it in some plastic containers and put it in the refrigerator, and then you can use it throughout the week to make different dishes. So let's give it a taste test, see if it needs anything, any other spices. Don't forget salt and pepper to taste, and it should be done. Let's take a look. Wow. Look at that delicious sauce. Yum. Gonna give it a little stir. It's nice and thick. Oh, it smells so good. Perfect. All right. Let's give it a taste. I don't think it needs anything. Oh, so good. There's nothing like homemade Italian sauce. Yum. It is done. Gonna turn off the heat, give it another stir, and just let it sit for a while. Yum. Thank you so much for joining us on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas today. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living. Bye-bye.